Hello, Pisces! Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, using Vice Versa Tarot, I haven't used this one in a while. Who is it? The name's here somewhere. I'm gonna mess up that name. But, it's spelled differently. It looks like David, but there's something else. It's spelled a little different. Artwork is by David. Come on, are you not going to focus because my face is there? Maybe you're not going to do it. Hopefully it focuses. You can see the names if you want to check it out. I do have a website. Can I block it so it focuses, please? There you go. David Corsi. I don't know. The name on the top, the name on the bottom if you want to search this out. I'll give you the website. It's here at the bottom. There we go. There we go. We'll just make that easy. If you want to search out that deck, here's the information. Just freeze frame and check that out. Right at the bottom, the last thing is the website. Just make it easy. There we go. And I'm addicted to these oracle cards lately. So it's Magical Spell Cards by Lucy Cavendish, illustrated by Jesse Reish, and the website's at the bottom. Feel free to freeze frame and check it out if you want. Let's just get into the reading. Let's just do it, shall we? There's definitely an offer coming your way. Oh, I'm feeling very be careful what you ask for. Be careful what you ask for. So like, I'm almost feeling like I'm getting lectured about wishes. Be careful what you ask for. A lot of times we ask for things we think we want until we experience it, and then we're like, ooh, yeah. So, how to explain this better? Not that you shouldn't go for your wish, whatever that is, but I feel like what they're saying is, like, don't be afraid to define it a little bit, at least. Like, I'm just going to make it really easy. So, like, if you're looking to bring a love life partner in, just for argument's sake, asking for just somebody who loves you, you might want to be a little bit more specific. Like, I want somebody who loves me, matches my sense of humor, and I feel very comfortable and happy with. Something like that. I wouldn't get into the physical, instead, you could ask for like somebody who you find physically attractive. When I've done those things, I've been very careful not to, like, I don't need everybody to find them attractive, I just need to find them attractive. So, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, but like just keeping it too wide open is bad, because you might be surprised what you get. Like, I just want a love partner. You might be surprised what you get, but if you kind of like define it a little bit and kind of keep in context what you want, like put some boundaries. You don't have to go crazy with boundaries, but make sure you put some boundaries or some parameters to what you want. Seems like that's tricky. Like, you don't want to have no parameters, but you don't want to have a ridiculous amount. You know what I mean? Kind of like going to the store and saying money's no object, and then, you know, before you know it, you've blown through $10,000 on a credit card. Bad idea. Versus kind of going like, going to the I anything below $200 is fine, depending on what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? It's different. I feel like I've already talked about this. Be careful what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for. You need some type of parameter. Some type of parameter. This just reminds me of somebody who, like, they get involved in a job and they're like, I'll do anything. I'm not a fan of that, personally. I feel like we should have parameters. I don't think that when you start a job, you should be subject to their whim and whatever they want. I'm not a fan of that. I don't mind helping out, and I don't think helping other people out is a bad thing. But, like, people who just, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I feel like when you just do anything that they want, that's bad too. So, like, some type of, like, boundary. Kind of like, you know, if you show up to do an office job and you end up outside shoveling the front step, like that's, to me, that's not quite right. If you don't mind doing it once in a while and everybody takes a turn for whatever reason, it's its own thing. But if it's just kind of like, why isn't the business hiring somebody to take care of that anyway? Isn't it's the business's responsibility to make sure that upkeep is done and not just pushing it off on everybody because they just have this this fun little rule of like, we don't do that, it's not my job thing. Yeah, that way you can screw people over with whatever you want. I've seen that play out before. Not that I'm bitter. So like, it's good to have some boundaries, just not crazy amount of boundaries. I don't know how to expel it. You know what I mean? If you're in an office job and you're like, I'll do anything pertinent to my job, anything connected to my job and my career goals. But for example, if I'm in an office job and I'm doing things at a desk, don't ask me to go outside and shovel the front step or shovel the walkway. That's not I'm not going to do that. That is literally not my job. That's one job I won't do because I'm an inside office person. I'm not a catch-all. I'm not just because you don't want to pay somebody to shovel the front that I have to do it. I don't think so. I don't know. I feel like this is going to make sense to the right person because you kind of have to have some boundaries. I'm not saying you have to have a crazy amount. So it's kind of like when I hear it's not my job thing, I get very, cautious. Like, what exactly do you mean by that? Because certain things are not my job. You know what I mean? If you're at a bank, you know what I mean? There's certain things you're not going to have legal right to do. If you don't have the legal right to handle money, if you haven't been bonded, then that's literally not your job. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to explain it. It's just, there's something clicking in here. I'm trying to get a little closer to it. Like, we got to be careful to have boundaries. So be careful what you ask for because you can have a great moment. It's just making sure you do have the great moment here. We don't want to look back afterwards and see like this didn't work out quite the way we wanted it to. We want to go in there, look at seeing what is actually happening. We don't want to go in there blind in the darkness. Got to be careful for that. Okay, so now that we've gone down that, I feel like parameters help because it's almost like you have a lot of possibilities. I also feel like this is one of those things that if you set the parameters in the beginning, it's a lot easier. It's kind of like if you start a relationship and 5-6 months down the road, they're used to you doing everything and then you try to change it after that point, it becomes a lot harder. You know what I mean? Because they get very used to it. They're used to the pattern. They're used to the habit. They didn't have to before. They don't want to now. It becomes much more of an issue. If you start off with somebody in the very beginning, this is what we're going to do, this is where it's going to stay, it's a lot easier. Like, I know there's something else, it's just not quite coming forward, because I feel like they're saying, go ahead, have your wish, but define it a little bit. I'm kind of going on about that. I just want to make sure I said it right, so I hope I did. Because something's coming through. The wish that's coming, like wish, whatever it is you want, seems like it's going to stick around for quite a while. So, like, this is like you... Say you wanted to live in a certain place. Wherever you're going, wherever you move to, you'll probably be there for a couple years, 2 to 3 years at the very least. So it's kind of like, make sure that you put some parameters so you don't spend the next 2 to 3 years going, I didn't really end up where I wanted to, and I wish I did this, I wish I did that. Kind of like people who move into an apartment building and maybe there's 5 apartments available, and they're like, I'll take any one of them, and then you get the crap one. Versus if they said, you know what, I would like one on the sunny side of the building, not the bottom floor. So they're like, what do you have? Well, we have 2. We have this floor or that floor. And you're like, well, actually, I think I'd prefer that one. Could I see them both? You see them both, you make your decision, good. Versus just saying, well, whatever you want to give me, go ahead, I'll take it. Just be careful with that. Because it's going to be around for a while. Other people want stuff too. You don't know this, you don't see this, other people want stuff too. Is this the Magician or the Wheel? Doesn't that look like the Magician? This is the vice versa tarot, right? I think that's the front face. So this is the normal side for the Wheel of Fortune. This is the opposite side. So I almost feel like it's saying what you're going to end up with might seem random to you, but somebody else made a decision, and other people are asking for what they want. You need to ask for what you want too, because other people are. It's fair. It's part of the give-take balance. You ask for what you want, they ask for what they want, you see how you match, whatever this is. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to define what you want. You don't have to be crazy with the boundaries, but there needs to be some. It's just, I'm really cringing because I'm thinking of some certain things where people are just like, I'll do anything. And I'm just like, and then they end up in these situations and I'm like, I'm like, oh man, like that was not a good idea. It's kind of like, I almost feel like I learn through other people's mistakes sometimes because I'm just like, oh yeah, I could see how that would have happened. Like, I could see myself 20, 25 years ago going, yeah, I can see myself doing that. In fact, I know I've gotten myself into some predicaments in my 20s mostly. And I was like, I was pretty fortunate how things worked out, but bad decisions due to not setting parameters, not setting boundaries. I hope this is making sense because I feel like it needs to. Also, ironically, if you don't set the boundaries, there's more to this. It may not last. It may not stick. You may get your wish and let it go. So what was the point of the wish anyway? Oh. You may let it go. But the point is, why go through it and get what you want and then just let it go? If you put parameters, you'll actually get what you want versus just kind of like it's just... Because I'm getting the Six of Swords, like it may not stick. It may not stick if you don't put the boundaries in. It may not stick. So that's another reason. Don't take just whatever will come your way. Put some boundaries. Because if you don't, it may not stay. It may not stick. Which if you get it and you don't really want it, I guess that's fine. But the reason you wouldn't want it is because you didn't put the boundaries. So it's kind of like, why put in the effort at all if you're not going to put the boundaries, because you're just going to end up something that you don't want and it'll just disappear anyway. So you know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. We're going on about the boundaries, right? Going on about it. You have the ability to keep whatever it is and be very happy. Just make sure you set the boundaries. It matches you very well. As long as you have set the boundaries. Get the Justice card here too. As long as you have set the boundaries, make sure you have some parameters. You don't have to have crazy parameters, but some parameters about what you want. What's the last card here? I want to say that's Justice. It's the back of the Justice. Which I feel like for a lot of you, if you do like a little self-audit, and I feel like self-audit is a better way to say, I don't like the idea of regret because we learn from our past. It's your business if you do regrets or not, however that works. But I'm more of a fan of self-audit. I look back, how did things play out? How did that work out? What did I like? What didn't I like? If it played out again, what would I do different? I don't like the regret, oh, if I hadn't, or I wish I had. I don't like that for myself anyway. But I'm kind of like, I'm very used to, I'm very well aware, especially reading for people constantly. There's patterns. We all have patterns in life. Things they repeat in different ways, maybe with different people. Maybe, for example, if we lost money on a car when we were younger, that pattern might repeat later, and we'll lose it on some other investment like a house or something else. So it's kind of like going back and when that started to happen, where should I have noticed that? What should I have done differently that if it repeats again, this is how I'm going to handle it next time? When I look back, I'm like, oh, I kind of look at that this would have been a better turn. I did that and I understand and I learned from it, but this would have been a better turn. So when it repeats, I already have it in my head, already set. Let's do it the right way, or let's do it a better way. Let's try a different path. Maybe that's the way. Let's try a different path this next time. A different path. A different path is a better answer. So for a lot of you, I feel like if you look back and do some self-auditing, you can see where maybe you've done this pattern before, you've done this cycle before. It's coming around again. If you look back in the past, what would you have done differently? And that way, if it starts happening this time around, you're ahead of the game. You're like, wait, that's playing out again. I don't want to do that road again. Did that road. I think I did 4 or 5 times. I'm not going to do that road again. Not really into the scenery. This road I'm a little nervous with, but it's different, and I want a different outcome. Let's go. So here we go. So I think that's the gist of it. It does seem a little bouncy with this jumble. It feels like a little bouncy all over the place. But basically, you have something coming forward. It's like a wish is being granted. For those of you looking for love, I'm going to say love is coming your way. On the terms that you want it. Just make sure you set some boundaries, at least some boundaries, if that's what you want. If some of you are looking for a job opportunity, or whatever it may be, maybe you're looking for a new group of friends, maybe you're looking to connect with certain types of interests, that is coming your way. Just make sure you set the boundaries to what you want. It will come your way. It's almost like, you putting your order out there. The universe is sending the letter. It's only sending it once. At this point, it's like things are optimal. It's sending it once. It's going to be a while before it comes around again. That's how it looks to me. I think we're good, though. One of the reasons I'm talking about the letter, I think this is the Knight. Knight of Swords is what information is going to come to help you get what you want. It's not going to be just, it's going to be like an IKEA thing. It's assembly required, but you're at least going to get what you want. Assembly will be required. Are we good? I think we're done. Anything else? All right, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. james4astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.